know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
Chief Concerns is presented by BetOnline and Olipop. Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns, and ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. It's football season, and you know what that means? It means it's time to get in on BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Come on, baby. Go. Yes. That's a first down. This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients. Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being. So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs. Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns, your post-game show. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn in the middle right there, and my brother Teja Dash on the right. First time all year where we're coming to you guys on a post-game show where we are coming off a loss. The Chiefs, the 9-0 Chiefs, are now the 9-1 Chiefs, so we don't really have to talk about this undefeated season stuff anymore. That's out the window. So I'm honestly kind of a blessing in disguise, to be quite honest with you. So to get that whole undefeated talk out. Sad though, it seems like 9-0 is just the one thing we can't get over. 3 times in Chiefs history: 2003, JD's team, 2013. And then this year, 2024, we get to 9-0, and that's it for us. So 10-0 is just one thing we'll maybe get to eventually. But guys, Josh Allen and the Bills have now beaten us the 5 times we've played them in the Patrick Mahomes era in the regular season. We are 1-4 against the Buffalo Bills in the regular season now. But we still have one thing over them, is that we're undefeated against them in the playoffs when it really matters. But guys, obviously we lose 30-21 in this game. First game in like 30 games where we've allowed opponents to score over 28 points against us, which is pretty wild. What are your guys' kind of overall takeaways? We'll kind of get into the different things, but what was your overall takeaways from this loss?
Well, I tell you this, what you said is very important, is that we win when it counts, when it matters. And if 9-0 is, getting to 10-0 will compromise us getting to a Super Bowl and winning it, I don't want it. I don't want it at all. So I could care less how that thing looks. As long as we hold up the Lombardi at the end, that's all that matters, right? Truly, that's what it is. And so we understood that going into Buffalo was going to be, it's always going to be a tough task playing up there anyway. The atmosphere, man, is electric for them. We understand that. They talk about almost rivals Kansas City. I don't know how true that is, but I know they do a lot of good tailgating up there. They have the Bills Mafia, which, they kind of lean on you a little bit, but that's fine. That's okay. The thing is just kind of getting to the game. What they saw against us on defense is they started to exploit some of our weaknesses, started picking on a couple of guys that we know had just got back, might have needed some help, some young guys. And so what we was doing is we were Not very good in communication, passing off. When we were trying to banjo guys, mainly playing inside out on guys, the communication was breaking down. And I think that's what they did. They kind of seen that part of it, and they just, took it to us. Another thing, just as far as should have had the spy on that fourth down with Josh Allen. We should have known that if anything, he's going to keep the ball in his hand and try to make a play. And so I think we did a good job as far as covering, but we didn't do a better job of covering him. And so I don't know if that was something else going on and just miscommunication, but we should have did a much better job. Them scoring 30 points is the first time we gave up over the 28. Since you said, I forgot how long it's been since, it's been that long. I don't remember how long it was, Marcus, to be honest with you.
30 plus games or something now.
Jeez, that's incredible. So we understand that there's some things that we gotta shore up for sure. And we'll get there. Offensively, let's go to the offensive side of the ball. I think we should have got Travis Kelce involved more, D-Hop involved a lot more. I think we should have leaned on Kareem Hunt a little bit more early on in the game, and we didn't do that. And so I think it was probably to our demise that we didn't get those guys going earlier than what we needed to. But they did a good job, I think, as far as, spying on Patrick. They was going to make sure Patrick wasn't going to beat us with his legs. And then, I'll make this point too. We understand that, when penalties, turnovers kill you. And so we had 2 penalties that was pivotal to us in a game that could have either gave us a first down going one way. And then also, of course, we got, kind of pushed back where we were like 3rd and like 14 or something like that from the holding call. So when you play a team like Buffalo, you gotta be, almost perfect playing football. But we'll be fine. That's all right. First loss, no big deal. We'll learn from it and move on. We'll move on.
Yeah, the last time we gave up 30 points in a game was a Super Bowl against the Eagles, 35 points. That was a playoff game. But the last regular season game where we did that was October 2nd, 2022, the Sunday night game against the Buccaneers when we gave up 31 points that game. We won that game, but we won 41-31. So it's been a long time.
This loss doesn't really sting as bad as I thought our first loss would sting. It doesn't, it's. I think it's because we've almost weaned ourselves. They tell you to pyramid off of like drugs and stuff. You go high and then you slowly come off of it. Take like less and less every day. I feel like that's how the season's gone. We've weaned ourselves off of winning. We've gotten like closer and closer to death every single week. We've seen, like we said last week, we've won and come back in almost every way you can possibly almost lose and win. It's almost like watching like the Jason Voorhees and like Freddy Krueger, where you've watched them die over so many movies in so many different ways that when they're finally dead in like part 12, you're like, okay, yeah, we've seen this all before. Whatever, he'll come back again. So that's kind of like we are. We are like the villain at the end of a horror movie that like moves his hand like really fast and like the movie cuts to credits and like he's dead, but like he's not, right? Because so like I don't like to lose, but at the same time, I know we're coming back and I know we'll learn from this and get better from it. And so this season's really prepared me for this game and this loss. I don't feel as bad as I thought I would. And not that I want to lose, but I don't mind the distractions being gone. I don't mind all of that going away. Like we already have the pressure of a 3-peat. Like that is our goal, right? Let's not get away from that. I don't even almost want us to have the undefeated season because that would almost seem like enough if we lost in the playoffs and didn't do the 3-peat. The 3-peat is the goal. Let's not get any other distraction out there about an undefeated season. Because if we had an undefeated season and we lost in like the conference championship or the Super Bowl, we'd be like, oh, well, we had an undefeated season. Well, no, I don't want that. I want a 3-peat. And that is the goal, and that's all a goal should be. So, and I also want to compare this to previous seasons, the last 2 seasons in particular that we've won. We didn't go into the playoffs as world beaters. We didn't go in as the most feared team. We went in overlooked to some degree. We went in with kind of a chip on our shoulder every year. If we go in undefeated, then we wouldn't have that anymore. We take something away that we've had the past couple of years. We were extremely beatable when we were flawed. And even in the playoffs, when we were beating teams that we shouldn't have beaten, we were still underdogs, even like live as it was happening. So I don't want any of that. I don't want to be feared. I want to be overlooked. I want to be disrespected. I want all of the bulletin board material. Give us everything. It doesn't matter anymore. As far as the Bills in particular go, like you said, Marcus, like losing the regular season, you just gave us a bulletin board material. You just gave us something to have in the playoffs against you now. If we do face you again, we now have this because we probably will see them again, and now we'll be hungry for revenge, which, judging by our past performances in the regular season versus playoffs, works in our favor.
Well, I mean, it does. I think that's what makes it so dangerous, Tage, is because, all during this whole entire year, nobody wanted to give us the type of, respect that was due to us, even though we were winning and pulling out close games, right? We almost lost to Denver last week. Okay. We had to get a block to win the game. Okay. And then, of course, this week coming in, Buffalo playing up there, and everybody's like, oh, well, who's a better team? Who's going to be this? And so I think for them, it seems like the Bills always go through this every year about how good of a team they are. And nothing ever comes about with them. Josh Allen guys are always at home watching the Super Bowl. That's how it works. So at the end of the day, it's all about, man, getting that win and going into the Super Bowl. That's what you want to do. That's the ultimate goal. Getting and holding up the Lombardi. When you get to the Super Bowl, getting that win, everything else doesn't matter. It didn't even matter what you did for the rest of the regular season. It doesn't. Shoot, you could have been one of those teams that was, what is it, like 9 and 8? You could have been 9-8 team, got in and just wild card and blew everybody away.
Yeah.
If the end game is you holding up in Lombardi, then you've done something that every other team hadn't done. But 31 other teams hadn't done that year. So like I said, it's all said and done, man. That's the only thing that matters. But what I do, what we'll talk about is some of the issues that was presented to us this week. If we had to deal with somebody like Josh Allen and we had to deal with somebody like Lamar, coming into the playoffs, what do you do? How do we attack those guys? And so, and we'll go into maybe some of the things, the weaknesses, some of the things that I did see, and I'll talk about it. I'll talk about, some of like our corner play, like with those guys, like Amari Cooper came back, he's a little banged up, he made a couple of catches. But what I did see is they were doing a good job just getting the matchups that they needed. And then they just started going after it. They was, what it was, guys switching out, what it was on the safety, they had Shamari Commerce that was covering, Shakir and all those. Like, I'm like, why is he on these guys? Like, the safety should be on like tight ends, running backs and whatnot, or like your slower wide receivers. Maybe that's why Curtis Samuel had the game he had. That was his first touchdown for the season. Can you believe that? Curtis Samuel's first touchdown came against the Chiefs in week 10 for us. That's crazy, So,
yeah, I hadn't seen him be utilized like that all season long for Buffalo up until this game.
Yeah, his last 2 games, because of injuries, I think they've really thrusted him into like a much larger role. He had 8 targets last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnson was attacked too. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Johnson. Now Z2. It seemed like we gave up a lot of cushion to Hollis, Mac Hollis. I'm sitting there, like, wow, we shouldn't be giving up that type of. But you seen that was a combination. It was Connor and Najee on the outside. I'm just like, what are we running? And I seen where we ran the cover 2. We got behind that, threw it to Curtis Samuel. It just seemed like that Josh was able to see what we were doing kind of defensively, and they took advantage of it. And I know in the helmet they was like, look, we got 13 over here. We got 27. Like, we need to go after them. And so we'll get better from it. We'll get better from it. So
you kind of mentioned JD was one of the things I want to talk about was the no spy at the end of the game, 4th and 2. It seemed like everyone at home, everybody on Twitter, everyone on X, everyone knew that this is the play they're going to let Josh Allen have the ball in his hand. Josh Allen was going to put on the cape and play hero ball for this specific play. They weren't going to give it to anybody else. It was going to be him. He was going to do something here.
Yeah.
And to not have a spy on him, it's just like, this is sometimes, and I get it, everyone's a coach on the couch, right? But like sometimes it's like one of those things, like if everyone at home is saying like, look, Josh Allen's going to do what he's going to do here. He's going to play hero ball with it. But yet on this play, our guys, the ones that matter, Spags is not calling a spy for Josh Allen this play. And then on top of that, the tackling on that play was appalling. I mean, he wanted it way more than our guys wanted it. It was pretty dang clear. Nobody wanted to touch him. But what do you think Spags is seeing there to not call a spy on that play? I mean, what's defensively, scheme wise, would it make sense for him not to call a spy on that play?
I don't know. I'm not saying he might have. I'm sure Spags won't go in there and not calling it. So I don't know if somebody they missed their assignment, maybe got stuck on one side, because that's what I was wondering. Like, okay, I know we've gone into the game knowing we're going to spy, Josh Allen, especially in a situation like that. Heck, we called a timeout before then. So we would know, hey, watch Josh Allen. 4th and 2, he's going to try to run it with his legs. I'm thinking 100% that's going to happen. 100% that's going to happen. So I don't know if somebody got stuck, got caught. I
thought it was happening on 3rd.
Huh?
I thought it was happening on 3rd down. Marcus and I were talking. I was like, oh, Allen's keeping this. And when they handed it off, they were going for on 4th. He was definitely they weren't going to not give him an opportunity on a 3rd and 4th and short. There's no way. So the fact that he didn't keep it on 3rd means he was definitely going to keep it on 4th. Like, no question about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I don't know. I don't know if it was just bad communication. I'll go back to it when I go over the film, when I grade it and actually get to talk about that play, extensively. But I would bet you going into the game, you're gonna have a spy on Josh Allen, especially in those situations like that. So I don't think that was oversight by them at all. I think somebody just missed their assignment. And that could happen. Somebody could get caught like, oh, well, I think we got him, and then all of a sudden he takes off. But it was atrocious, the tackling. Like arm tackles, missing, like guys, like I said, they feet going after this guy, Bolton, just kind of, try to knock him off the track, man. You got to get a guy like that down. And the thing is, if you hold him to a field goal, that's what you really want. You want to hold him to a field goal. No, don't let him score. Hold him to the field goal. That was it. That was the plan. And so when you do that, we go down and score. I would put it on us all the time. But I want to address some of these things that's going on in the chat right now. And so Lee Matthews says, let me see. I'm going to start up here with the first one he says. He said, I can handle the L. I agree. I'd rather lose this one, but home field is gone. Not necessarily. Bills had to have so easy road. We have more L's playing like this. Denver Chargers play us insane, and we have a lot of talent ahead. Bills don't. Yeah, we got guys coming back, Lee. I'm not saying this gives the Bills, the advantage. It doesn't. We got plenty of ball to play, so we don't know how it's going to shake out. So he said, I can't understand Pat is playing so bad weapons. Holds the ball forever. So I think we got to get into this conversation too. And here's one of the points. Where we was going to score and they called timeout, we would have walked in. And they ended up calling the timeout when they was going to give the ball to Kareem. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, why the Chiefs calling a timeout? Why are we doing it? So I don't know what they saw, what they didn't, or what they didn't see, why they felt like it was necessary to call the timeout. Was it an illegal formation that they saw, or somebody wasn't in that they should have been in? I'm not quite sure. But I do believe that, when you look at some of our offenses, we know we live in that 5 to 8 yard range. That's what we do. And so they just started sitting back there. What was killing them was we started throwing the ball deep to Worthy, which we should have kept going deep routes. I didn't get to put it up here, but that was one of my coaching things is like, we need to give Worthy some more balls. He did a great job. And then all of a sudden, the second half, we didn't really see him anymore.
After that first drive, he didn't catch a ball. He had 4 on the first drive, right?
Right. Yeah. And so
that long drive, sorry.
Yeah. And he had the one where he kind of stepped out of bounds, man. But you got to, when you stretch a defense like that vertically, that does something to them. That lets you know that now they got to cover every blade of grass out there. All right. So I don't think all of it's on Pat. I don't. I think they do a good job of just getting in his lane to make sure he's not throwing the football. And they're going to sit right there with Kelsey, the slants, where the curls and the hooks are going to be sitting, and they know that. They've been watching us. I would play our offense that way. That's exactly what I would do if I'm going against our offense. And so I'd let you get over top. You don't have to throw some perfect balls right over that, like that 10 to 15-yard range. But, I mean, what do y'all think about that? I mean, them just saying it. What do y'all think about Pat's play today?
I thought that, I mean, just looking at the numbers, I mean, you can see yourself, but the numbers after the game, I'm seeing this. Rousseau, Oliver, and the Bills defensive line pressuring Mahomes at a higher rate, 37%, despite blitzing way less than Kansas City is probably the most stark thing. I mean, they were just getting back there to us. And I mean, you can only do so much. Also, too, we talked about it before. What's the best thing to do to try to mitigate a rush? Is running the damn ball, and they abandoned. Even Romo commented on it. They abandoned the run game for a little bit that game, and it's like it's happening. It's just, obviously it's one of those things you just come to understand. That's what Andy Reid does, but it doesn't make it right. Abandoning the run. I think Kareem Hunt was actually running pretty well today. I'll say, he got stuffed on one of those plays, but I thought Kareem had a really great game with 14 touches. That's not enough totes for Kareem Hunt to get him going.
It was his highest yards per carry since his first game back. So it was actually the most effective he's been in like 2 months. So I mean, he was definitely running well. He had his season high in one attempt. So yeah, he was running good. I don't know. He didn't have a target either. So it is a little baffling to me, and especially when our game plan lately has been to hold the ball, get first downs, and ball control, and we lost the ball control by almost 9 minutes, almost 10. So, weird game. I don't know. I don't really know what our identity was this game. Like, it's a really weird game to pin down. And I want to tie something into defense versus offense too, since we're kind of transitioning. It's like the third week in a row where, if you look at like sacks, tackles for losses, and QB hits, what we're taking is way worse than what we're giving out to beat what teams as far as, so sacks last 3 weeks, sacks against other teams, 4, we've taken 10. So that's -6. Tackles for losses, 12, we've given 12, we've taken 16. So it's -4. And then QB pressures, 10 more. We've taken 10 more QB pressures than we've given out to teams. So we're not punishing teams, and we're taking punishment. Another week where our O-line kind of takes it, and we're not giving it out. Yeah. And we added a pass rusher, so like we should be cooking a little more than we are with QB pressures and sacks. That's a little disappointing. But that's part of it, I guess. I mean, is he holding the ball too long, or is he already kind of getting gun shy from the pressure? Is it kind of working off each other?
Probably, I would say that it's probably the latter, to be honest with you. I mean, because I don't care what quarterback it is. If you get pressure in his face and you're making him bounce out and, move his feet, you're looking for an errant throw. And, as great as these quarterbacks are out here, Pat is no different from anybody else in that regard. Now, he does a great job extending the ball with his feet. But, you get the pressure on him like they were doing, and they're condensing and closing down the pocket on him. And so they're forcing him to, like, man, you stay in the middle if you're going to take off running, okay? We're not going to try to let you get outside, and we just going to make sure we're going to cover. And they had a spy on him too. But I do believe that's part of maybe where the discrepancy is offensively, what we're doing. But I do agree with you. We should have ran Kareem Hunt. We should have leaned on him heavily this game, and we didn't. We should have known it. Buffalo, I think if they're like middle of the pack or somewhere around close to 20th in the rush defense, we should have exploited them forever in the running game. Because we would have ate up the clock. Play action could have worked for us all game, and we would have leaned all over his defense. We'd have had them chasing us around all game. So I don't agree with some of the things people are talking about Pat, how bad he's playing. I think they even said that Skip Bayless, I'm reading it right now, but he says, he said, fitting way to end an undefeated season with another Mahomes interception. Somehow the Chiefs keep winning in spite of or by his standards. A pretty sorry year for Mahomes, who continues to be overhyped and overrated. Skip needs to stay with his Dallas Cowboys. Okay, that's what he needs to do. Okay, instead of sitting over here and giving his takes on Patrick Mahomes. We know he's a big hater of Mahomes and the success of the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm not surprised by his little silly tweet that he made out. But I don't think we need to buy into that whole thing. As far as with Pat, I don't believe Andre Brown has anything to do with the trauma of him not having receivers this year. Sometimes guys are just not going to be perfect. The Bills played a better game than we did this past week, and that showed. But like Teja said, I think a lot of it had to deal with the pressure that he's been on the past few weeks, okay? We can't discount that. We can't. And so when you're sitting over there, you're looking for a pocket. They were protecting Josh Allen. That sucker wasn't really getting touched. Chris was back there a couple of times, had him, but that big, long joke is so strong, man. He's country strong. He got that country strength. He's just going to run through some tackles and stuff. So, but I think our offensive line has to play a much better game than what they did.
Yes. Which sucks because this looked like a game where they were up to run blocking and we didn't run it enough.
No, we didn't.
It's like, oh man, like you missed an opportunity. They look like they were actually like, creating holes, and the Bills have been susceptible against on the ground. So we just didn't take advantage of it.
Well, Kareem was out in the secondary. He was like, oh, what? Like he ain't been in the secondary for a long time running. He was wide open. I don't think he was used to that, getting to the safety, making a tackle on him. So that was a beautiful thing, man. We should have stuck with the running game, man. I just don't understand how we just I don't know. But it's going to be good to really grade this film. Okay, and I'm grading the coaches too on this as well. So
a lot of Chief fans think it's time, like Mike Brennan's commenting here, saying Morris loves hearing his name called in big moments. Smith's phone ringing off the hook. So Donovan Smith, we talked about it last week when Wanya got hurt, Kingsley came in, and now he wasn't even on the active roster today. And then Wanya is at play today. He had a penalty or two. Do you think it is time they bring in the veteran Donovan Smith, and do you think that really makes a difference? I mean, is that really going to solve these pressure issues?
Unless that joke is in shape right now, you got to put it on Wanya, and I think Coach Reed trusts him. I know he had the one pressure today. Jawan gave one up as well, but those guys just got to be able to get the job done. I mean, that's look. Keep working at practice. Keep working on your technique and your fundamentals. You call Donovan. Is that going to solve everything? I'm not sure. Okay. But, hey, is this something that they still do? I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. Well, we talked about this all year, getting a guy. They had Ethan Driscoll as a backup tackle. Ethan Driscoll.
I mean,
hey, man.
Scary times, JD. Scary times.
Hey man, look, maybe it's something maybe he made a jump. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in practice. Hey, hopefully he come out, man. That joker's a Greek god, and he looks great. Looked like a 10-year vet. But I'm not sitting back here putting Ethan Driscoll in there to cover Pat. Sorry.
He had some good moments in preseason.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. I must have missed it.
Well, he has that one play that everyone shares. It's the one where it was like a screen to Deneric Prince.
Yeah,
and he's out there running with him. We talked about that during the preseason, JD. But that's like the one play everyone like hypes up when they talk about him. It's like that one play. Dude, look how athletic he is. All these guys are athletic. I mean, that doesn't really show you he's in a yeah,
you're supposed to be. Look, I ain't gonna pat you on the back for something you're supposed to be doing.
I mean, there must be something he's doing right. If he got lifted and Kingsley's a scratch. Something.
Hey, man. Hey, more power to him. That sucker was probably sitting over there eating celery and carrots and like, oh, you call me up? I'm getting moved up. I'm okay, sure. So good for him. Look, and I'm cheering for our guys, okay? I'm just being funny right now, obviously.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. I don't want everybody coming for it like, oh, my God, Ethan Driscoll and stuff. Right, I'm just like, look, I just know that at the preseason, the kid wasn't ready. He just wasn't. And we're talking about technique, fundamentals, speed, and quickness. He just wasn't at that level. He just wasn't. King Suma and Wanye were that much ahead of him. So, but they see potential. He's a big kid. He's a really big kid. And so I hope he gets better. So if they think he's able to come up, sure. I would love somebody, at least for us, with more experience that can get the job done. So if we have to rely on Wanye to get it done, then so be it. Then that's going to be the move. But if we do, if that's going to be the case, and that's how we're going to live, we got to get some more chips. I'm sorry. Chip guys on the way out. We got to make sure we are doing that to help them out. But yeah, appreciate it. Happy birthday week, JD. Appreciate it, Mike. Appreciate it. So,
what do you think that says about how rough Kingsley looks in practice?
I mean,
he must look rough, huh?
Yeah, I think, man, there might be some other stuff going on. Just maybe his confidence could be shot too. And they might see that and be like, oh, we're just gonna give you a break. We're gonna give you a rest for him not to dress out unless he's hurt. Maybe there's something else going on, but I don't know. So that's the privilege they have of actually being in the room studying and then seeing him at practice and know exactly where he is. But I tell you what, that is a little concerning that you bring a kid off the practice squad to replace your first round pick. And we didn't see him. I didn't see him on the report. Did you see him on the injury report? I didn't see him. So
yeah.
So obviously, we talked about the pressure on Patton, which is terrible. We did talk about the spy, but another thing, JD, you talked about the cornerbacks kind of getting eaten alive today. The big thing today that stood out was third down. So he did a great job of getting them to third down, third and longs.
Yeah.
But once they got a third and long, it didn't matter. It was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. They were converting 9 of 15 in the game today. At the end of the game, they didn't convert 3rd and 2. They go to 4th and 2. They get that. But 9 of 15 on third down. And, you got Khalil Shakir, who, all right, kudos to him. He caught some really tough balls today where he was catching and getting nailed. And kudos to him for stepping up for them. But, I mean, what does that say to you, JD? Is that when we're kind of talking about the pressure, not getting the pressure back there? Just giving too much cushion out there. What is it? I mean, I know a lot of Chief fans like to point to number 32, Nick Bolton, as a part of the reason why we're doing what this was happening today. But because I saw a lot of Nick Bolton hate on the timeline. Just for some reason, whenever we lose or having a bad game, 32 is getting this number thrown out there. But JD, what do you kind of chalk up this third down stuff today to?
Selective hate is what that is on Nick Bolton, really. Yeah. And a lot of it was the safeties been able to come down and recognize immediately who you have. Cook should have had him on that first down. When he smacked him, Cook's supposed to recognize that. He has him immediately. So he should have been down like in that junction in the area, and he just didn't cover him fast enough. But that's recognition. That's another thing we talk about, recognition and communication. And so those guys got to know it immediately. And it's also to awareness to know exactly where the first down mark is. Like if you're supposed to meet him right there, like be Johnny on the spot, be right there. And so we're just a step behind today, defensively. So it was all of that, Marcus. I think part of it was the pressure not getting there, putting on Josh, but guys not communicating, being in the spot where they needed to be. And they exploited it. They exploited it. They got lucky. That they was able to catch some footballs. His wide receivers done a much better job than what I expected. So hats off to them, man. Buffalo played a good game. Good game.
I also think, contrary to most Spags games, we get better throughout the game. The fourth quarter was like our worst against the Bills, and that's not something we're really used to a lot. Although in the recent weeks, we have seen that more and more. We talked about this. The Bucks, we gave up, 17 in the second half. Last week, Knicks kind of carved us up kind of throughout the game. Yeah. And then this week, we gave up 14 in the fourth, highest all season. I put that directly on the third downs. Overall third down, they had as many almost as many third down conversions as we had attempts. So that just shows you like 9 to 10 how much they had. But if you look at the third and shorts, we did a good job, Mark, like you said, about giving them third and long. Mostly in the first half, though, they were 5 and 6 on third downs of 1 to 3 yards, but 4 of those came in the second half. So they were taking a lot of those third and longs they had in the first and they were third and shorts. Even in that last long drive they had, the 10-play, 83-yard, they only had 2 third down attempts. They weren't even getting to third down anymore in that drive. One got wiped out by the PI, and the other one was a 3rd and 1, which, I mean, they're going to get, right? If they don't, they're going to go for it on 4th and get it. So it doesn't even matter. It's like 2 chances with Allen on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. They're going to get it. So I think that was a huge difference that they knew, like, okay, we need to stop getting – they got lucky in the first half getting those 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s. They got a lot of those, and they shouldn't have. That was really fortuitous of them. But they were like, okay, we need to adjust something to get more on 1st and 2nd and make these more manageable third. They did, and they got them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just giving up, man, on which we shouldn't have. Too much cushion. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, what are we playing over here? Is this zone, cover 3? How much cushion are we giving up on guys? And we shouldn't be giving that much cushion up on cover 3. We shouldn't. We had somebody in the flat, somebody who's covering deep. So that all those things should have been right there. And we looking at the linebackers should be playing hook curl. I mean, that's just what it is. But I'm gonna go back to Office Lee Matthews sitting over saying, if we can't hang 30 plus on Carolina, then we should worry. We need a major get right and confident game. Look, let me say this. I don't want us to start trying to compare ourselves because Lee said this. Lee, and I'm not really singling you out, but I'm speaking to you, what you addressed. We don't have to be the Ravens of Detroit. We don't have to be those guys. We don't have to win the same way that they're winning. We don't have to put up 30-some points every game. That's maybe that's just not our ball game, how we do things. It looks good to, score a lot of points. But like I said, in the end, if it don't win you games, it don't get you further than what you need to get to, what difference does it make? It looks good for a second. We seen the Dolphins put up 70 points last year on, who was it, Denver? How far they get? They had to come into Kansas City, ran into a buzzsaw twice. So I don't care about it. I don't care about it whatsoever. As long as we sitting over here, we getting those wins. And what we need is we need convincing wins. That's one thing I will agree with you on. But we need to do a much better job. But I could care less if we putting 40 or 50 points up on teams. Really.
I will say one thing, let's try to find a silver lining in some of this. 3 of 4 in the red zone today. Or I'm sorry, 3 of 3 in the red zone today. So I mean, I'll say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
For our guys. I mean, we talked about on the show, Bucker's out, and every time we got across the 50, I'm like, okay, guys, you got to score a touchdown here. We have, obviously, Spencer Schrader, we looked at his college numbers, pretty solid, but we didn't want to have to put it into the hands of this young kicker who's just coming to Kansas City, playing at Buffalo, and God knows it's probably, windy there. You saw their own kicker missed the extra point there, and they didn't even want to kick anything with him. But we got to the red zone. We converted everything. We scored all 3 times. So, I mean, you got to say, pretty good for for the offense. And I think D-Hop has kind of changed a little bit of things for us. Once we get to the red zone, it's kind of helping us out. I mean, since D-Hop's been with us, looks like we're 10 of 15 in the red zone since D-Hop has come to Kansas City. Pretty good.
It's helped a lot.
Yeah.
Also, penalties didn't help. We've been pretty good at penalties the last 4 to 6 weeks. I don't think we've lost that battle that often recently, and I think we had double the amount of penalties. I think triple the amount of penalty yards. So that's pretty rough.
I think they said we had 6 penalties. 6. They had 3.
Yeah, but that's an outlier compared to how we've been playing. So I'm not gonna obsess over that.
Going back to Pat, because that's kind of the big thing everyone's talking online about Patrick Mahomes. I mean, what's wrong with him? He did say, just talking about the one missed throw, because there was kind of a back and forth there, JD, and I'm curious what your thoughts. Some people said that Xavier Worthy, spatial awareness, he needs to be better about this the second time in the last few weeks where he doesn't know where he is in the field, where he's landing out of bounds. But then other people are saying, on the other end of things, Patrick Mahomes needs to get the ball in. Needs to get in there. He doesn't need to have to stretch out for the ball. And Mahomes said himself, he said, if I get that ball inbounds, that's a walk-in touchdown, he said after the game tonight. Where do you stand on that? Is that a Xavier Worthy thing? Is that a Patrick Mahomes thing? Or is that just an overall, they need to get their timing down together?
So I didn't get to see the play itself. I actually went to the bathroom during that time, so I didn't get to hear it. I heard what was going on. He just getting his foot down. So I don't know. I will say this. I've said it early on in the season that it is spatial awareness. I think you had to save some room from the wide receiver, but I'm not saying this is Xavier Worthy's fault. Maybe them two is just still trying to get on the same page. And if they're just missing it, they're just missing it. Hey man, look, this happens in a football game. I mean, shoot, I'm not going to overreact to it. I'm not. So, and this is what I hate about when you lose, because everybody just piles on to, oh, look at this, and oh my God, and this is bad, and oh man, like, shoot, this is our first loss of the season. Okay, right now we're still in. We control our fate. We're in the driver's seat. We're doing fine right now. We're doing great. We got the rest of the year that looks pretty easy for us. Okay, there's going to be a couple of teams that obviously that we got to go hit and hit in the mouth to finish this whole thing off. But look, hey, it's Chiefs all day, baby. It's Chiefs all day. And when we get into this whole thing, as far as like looking at this objectively, we're gonna be fine. I know it, right? It's so easy to get in and all the the little crows and everything. Okay, I will shoot. And I guess we're doing a little bit of that too, but I don't want to add on to the whole Debbie Downer. Oh my God, hey man, shoot.
We're just commenting on what we're seeing. That's all.
We are, but sometimes what we see, we may be a little bit more adamant about like the things that may not necessarily, like we were talking about. We don't know if Spags actually called a spy toward the end of the game. We don't know that,
right?
But
yeah,
hey, it'd be good to look at the film and see and say, yeah, we had a spy. The guy just didn't, he just didn't make the play, or he went where he was supposed to be, right? Yeah. And that something like that can get fixed. So.
By the way, I misspoke. We're 12 of 15 since D-Hop has arrived in the red zone. 12 of 15.
Still damn good.
Really good.
It's always tough to have negative comments about your team. I mean, if you do it after a loss, then you're piling it on and you're overreacting. If you do it after a win, then you're nitpicking and not enjoying the win. So it's like there's always it's never really good to talk about things that your team needs to do better. But that's why I think it's good just to keep it honest as much as we can. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. It's not being negative, just being honest. I'll call it the good things. I'll call it the bad things. I thought Worthy was on pace for a monster after that drive. And then
if
you told me he missed the rest of the game, I wouldn't have noticed other than that out of bounds play. I mean, man, he looked like Deshaun Jackson on that drive.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, gone.
Right. It's like, what are we doing? Right? It is. And I think it's the tempo and the play calling, all that goes into it. It's like, how do we get into these lulls, in the game? And it just seemed like we ain't got things figured out. And then you see like the last drive where we scored, it was like, where's this been at all day? What we've been doing?
I love that drive. That was one of my favorite drives of the season. And I looked it up. That was only our second double-digit play drive result in a TD in under 5 minutes. So we've only had two of those all season. That was one.
That was only the second one?
Double-digit touchdown drive.
Wow.
Yeah. In under 5 minutes. In under 5 minutes.
Shoot. I mean, if you in an offensive team, you should be able to score under 5 minutes, especially with what we have weapons-wise. And I think everybody agrees with that we do have some legitimate weapons now. We do. So how do we miss D-Hop? How do we miss Juju? How do we miss, Travis Kelce? We getting the ball, which I don't mind getting to Worthy was great because he was able to produce, right? Justin Watson, he was, able to come in. McCole came in, gave what he gave. Noah Gray had 2 touchdowns, which was incredible just to see that from him. So, I don't know, but I'm not, when I sit there and I see like those tweets from Skip Bayless, right? Mr. Haterade himself, talking about who continues to be overhyping and overrated, talking about Patrick Mahomes, then, hey, sucker, you just don't like the guy, okay?
I will say the last pick, whatever, the game was over at that point. That first initial one, which kind of started us off in a pretty rocky position, that That was him doing a little too much there with that throw. I don't even know what that was. That was awful. I'm not giving Skip any credit there, but that was the bad play. That just had everyone like, what? What was that? What are you doing there? And we get the ball first, and that's what we do. I mean, it was rough.
Bad, yeah.
You know how they did? Hand dog 2-8. Here you go, ball right at center.
I know.
Yeah, and actually, that was second down, I believe. First play was that weird play where he tries to throw it's like Hardman and Xavier Worthy in the backfield, and he throws like that little thing. It's tipped. Remember, he was trying to throw a swing pass to Hardman, right, or Worthy, I believe. It's tipped. Yes. Then the next play is that. What the hell? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Look, out of strap. We are coming downhill. We are coming right here, running a B gap. That's where we run it from the start. You want to see what the game plan is going to be? Teja, you talking about identity? Here's our identity for today. We're going to come in and hit you dead in the mouth. How about that?
We were doing that. I don't know why we didn't do that today against a team that actually hasn't been stopping the run that well.
Yes.
It's weird.
Yes.
Overthinking it. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Another play that got a lot of controversy online is Curtis Samuel's touchdown. On that play, it looked like there was a little bit of a pick play there, obvious pick play. Thoughts on that play? I mean, JD, NFL teams run pick plays all the time. Sometimes they're called, sometimes they're not. That's the way it works. A lot of Chiefs fans are really pissed off about that play not getting called, but it happens. If you watch the all 22 of a lot of games, there's a lot of pick plays that are happening all the time. We do it. Every team does it. Sometimes they get called, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, but he blatantly, when you watch, and that's what somebody's like, hey, they missed the face mask on the Chiefs too. I'm like, yeah, they should have called that too. I'm not saying they shouldn't have called the play.
Yeah,
they should have called it, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying, be consistent, but obviously down in the red zone, it's a pivotal part, okay, that's going to be able to maybe dictate the game. When you watch a guy doing a pick play, he comes out of his lane to throw a chicken wing and hit the guy. That is immediately, we know that is offensive pass interference. We know that. And they should have been looking forward to call it. Because you run a man, I'm like, what else you thinking? What else you looking for? Right? I mean, at that moment. And so Hollis came straight out of there and throws like big, long body to hit.
He's a big guy, too.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
I did not see that. Come on, man. They should have, somebody should have called that. I'm sorry. That in itself, nobody gets that open. I get a pick play, but you got to look like, hey, we just happen to be in the same area and stuff like that. But if I'm throwing my big chicken wing, I'm 6'5", throwing my big arm, you better see my big tail, stretching out there like, man, you can't do that too. We seen you. You done reached out there for him. And he did. So that was a bad call. That was a bad no call.
But no one is going to give it about the Chiefs not getting a call.
Yeah.
So but we're playing that quiet. We're playing that smallest violin as far as not getting the call. And whatever. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Next time we do get one, I'm going to bring this call up because it doesn't always happen. So it's fine. It's football. It happens both ways.
Football. We could cry about it, like, okay, man, we line up. Hey, line up. Let's go.
It happens throughout the game. That's why I'm not one of those delusional. It only happens in our favor fans. Yeah, it happens both ways.
Yeah.
Hearts and Roses said, I think play calling tempo has a lot to do with it. To be honest, I'm more worried about the Netflix production of the Xmas game coming.
Yeah, Jenny, I saw a lot of people online complain about the whole Netflix, the buffering issue. I didn't have a buffering issue. Did you have a buffering issue?
I was at a bar.
Okay.
So, we had the big screen TV and no issues. We seen Mike's butt cheeks out there fooling. I was like, what is going on?
Butt cheeks in 4K, huh? Yeah. Hearts and Roses, were you watching Netflix on your phone or on like a Apple TV device? Because I think that was the difference. Yeah, or a smart TV. Because we were watching it with an Apple TV and it was fine. And then we got on the road for a quick minute and my wife had it on her phone and she could not get it to load. It just kept buffering. It wouldn't even load for a second. It was just like,
really?
So I think it was my guess based on experience. Phone, not good. Actual device or maybe smart TV, fine.
So don't watch the Chiefs game on your phone.
On your phone? Yeah.
Problem solved.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to be ending here soon, but for the lot of Chief fans who are really upset about the loss and taking it really badly, do you guys have any advice as we end here to make everyone help them sleep better at night, JD? You're a voice of reason, JD. People want to hear you kind of make sure to tell them it's going to be okay. They want to hear you say it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. We're 9-1. Straighten up. How about that? Okay, got one loss. We got a whole lot of work to do. So nobody get it twisted. We're going to be fine. The Chiefs are all right. We're still the best team in football. Okay, and hey, get a backbone. We're going to be all right. We fine. So don't sit there and take it and be the worst week ever and stuff like that, man. None of that matters. Come on, for real. Like if you that invested in this to be that like hurt by it, hey, you probably need to back away. Back away. Okay? It's a good game by the Bills. Okay? Fine. Shake their hand. Hey, we'll move on. We'll learn from the video. We'll move on. That's what we had to do. So how's that? Is that good enough?
Well said.
It's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Teja, any final words before we get out of here, buddy?
I went off in the beginning, so my thoughts are all I left it on the field earlier on. I can't do that again. Heart murmur. No, I mean this isn't it's not the end of the season or the world. So this happens again. The playoffs, I'll be right there on watch with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say this before we close. We got some help coming. We got Pacheco and Amenahu coming back. So, hey, buckle up. Get it together, baby. We're going to be good. We're going to be all right. We're going to be where we need to be, okay? And we just got better. We're getting better these next couple of weeks with these guys coming back, okay?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And if anyone needs help to kind of know how the players are feeling, go watch. There's the GIF is going around online. Travis Kelce, as he comes off the field after Mahomes throws the interception, he's doing like a condescending like golf clap, like after like they're celebrating like they won the Super Bowl after beating us tonight. So if Kelce's doing a condescending clap like that, he's okay. I'll see us when it actually matters in a couple months.
That's what builds the chip. We need some chips. We don't have any chips on our shoulders right now.
Yeah,
life's been too good. We've been first class all year. No more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Business class.
Time to get uncomfortable. It's good for you.
It's good. Yeah, that's the only way you're going to learn from is right loss. Okay, and then that experience of losing that can help you get better. So, yeah, you had a sense of being comfortable. Good. You got a little bit of adversity. Okay, you can work with some things here. So, it's good for us.
I hope Amenahu helps. We're bottom 10 in sacks. So,
Yep. But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us. Well, we hope everybody enjoyed our post-game show tonight. I know it's coming out in these circumstances after a loss is tough, but that's why we're here. We're here to hear the venting. Everyone bringing your grievances, and this is what we do. This is why we have the show. But yeah, JD and I'll be back on tomorrow to grade this game, put in the book, put it away. Then we go to Wednesday and then we preview Carolina Panthers, which should be a nice revenge game, a nice win for us.
Right.
Get right game for us. But yeah, Wednesday we'll have that. Then Friday we'll have our betting show. So please, if you guys haven't followed or subscribed to our channel, come to YouTube, subscribe to Chief Concerns so you can follow myself and, of course, get the amazing takes from our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, and my brother Teja Dash. And then, of course, this week, JD's going to talk to us about the coming down from a 9-0 start, what the talks and stuff that begin after that. And I'm curious to hear what you guys talk about after that, how it kind of changes up the synergy and everything after, kind of focusing on the task at hand, which is the Super Bowl, not being undefeated Super Bowl. And that's kind of where everyone's looking towards, and Mahomes talked about tonight. So,
and the focus has to be there. The Chiefs aren't thinking about anything else. Those guys in the locker room, they're not thinking about anything else, okay? The main thing is still the main thing, period, and point blank, okay? So,
yeah.
Things will be fine.
There you go. All right, well, everybody in the chat, we love you guys. Mike Brennan, Hearts and Roses. On the Brown was in here. Lee Matthews, Osmall, Ryan Lockhart. Yeah. Looks like that's about it. But yeah, and we'll yeah, so that's it for the Bleacher Report portion. We'll have this on our YouTube channel in a little bit. So hi and bye to all of our YouTube followers who'll be watching this in the next half hour.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
See you guys tomorrow, fellas.
All right, fellas. Love y'all. We'll see y'all.
Love you guys.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.